Sorry?
What are you doing now?
So what I did is I created let's check this going, yeah. What I did is I put the image in that I'm working on in my Photoshop, and I put it in a different layer at the bottom right here. So that, and then the original layer, I locked it. You see a little lock there? So that I always have the original completely untouched. If I need to ever go back for some sort of like emergency, something messed up, I can always go back to the original, right? So I will only be working on the copy. So I'm not sure what it is I'm going to be working on, but so I'll start with what I know. So I have to color in Spirit Girl. So I'm going to start with doing that. So I'm going to call that layer red, because all my reds are going to go on the same layer. So we'll just start doing that. And every once in a while I'll check if there's somebody like who did a chat. Actually, what I could do is get some flowers in the way. I could do this. Kind of so I can keep an eye on the chat all the time. There, I can see out of the corner of my eye if someone's... Oh, actually, no, I can't. Oh, I'll just have to look from time to time. So let's start by coloring. So I'll choose my color for Spirit Girl's costume is red, 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 100% red, all the way red. 100% magenta, 100% yellow. So I'll choose my brush size. I'm going to do a brush with the hard edges because we're going to do the edges of the costume. So let's just paint like that. And we just zoom in and out and paint. So I'm just realizing now it's not really the best technique for that. So let's just undo all of that. And I'm going to go with my pen tool and select. I'll just draw an outline around Spirit Girl. I'm going to be drawing her gloves. There is a faster way of doing all this, but it's not as precise. So I say, if you're going to do something, do it right.
So you got a new tool this month to help out.
Yep, I'm doing this with my tablet, whereas before I was doing it with my mouse, which was a real pain in the, not butt, but in the hand.
So how does that change things for you for your practice?
Well, so I'm doing all this with my tablet, And so I'm using an actual like pen, like as you can see on the bottom of your screen there, bottom left. I'm actually using a pen, a digital pen, to make all these movements on the screen. And the reason that's better is it's a more natural hand position. So a mouse, it's like you're doing like kind of like a claw movement, and you're just the movements, the actual mouse is not as precise. So
You also didn't get the most high-end one, but you found one that was more economical, but we're really happy with it.
yeah, so I didn't buy the. Yeah, so if someone's watching here, I'll just tell them what's going on. Like, someone commented in my last live stream that it was interesting and all, but a little bit boring because I didn't say anything, which is fair. But to me, it's very unnatural to be speaking to nobody. It just feels like really fake. So I'm having my wonderful, lovely wife feed me some questions while she watches on the TV behind me. So she just asked me about the tablet, and it's true, I didn't get the most expensive one. I just got like a $45, $50 tablet, like the, and it's fine. It works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't need it for drawing. I need it for working. So, hang on, just gotta save a selection. So it's fine exactly. I just needed to do exactly this. I'm not gonna be all my drawings still done analog. So I don't need it to be like the super precise, like high-end tablet. I just need it to be a stylus pen that works, digital pen that works, and it's doing exactly that, as you can see. So doing this kind of work on a mouse is just incredibly tedious and painful on the hand. So doing on the stylus, it's not ideal. Like I much prefer working right on the page, but coloring straight to the page, what that does is you just get like so much media on your page that it's like you can't keep track of it's just like layers and layers of media. And because I don't have like super confidence with coloring, it's just like it becomes just like this big mess of colors, of different like watercolors and markers. And so I just figured I'll color digitally. Plus, well, you'll see in a bit like how I color. I don't do it the regular way like most people do. So you'll see. Right now I'm just making selections of the different parts of Spirit Girl's costume, and later I'll bring them in and you'll see why. So I'm almost done doing that, so we're going to start seeing the fun stuff here. But let's see if somebody's asked a question just in case. So I want to do this on Substack, but you got to have the app on the phone, and my phone's too old to be doing that, and I'm not getting a new phone just so I can stream on Substack. So I did kind of passive aggressively let Substack know that they should be giving their streaming feature to so what do we call that caller, to people who want to stream from there, because it doesn't make sense to stream my computer from the phone. Why I'm just going to point my phone to my computer? It looks stupid. So they should be giving the full feature from the browser where you can stream properly from the browser. So until they do that, we're streaming on YouTube. There's less people that watch, but I'm not here to acquire YouTube fame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load these selections. Add. So I've selected all the different parts of Spirit Girl's costume, and right now I'm just adding it all up so that we have the full costume selected. And we'll double check that it is. So you see those, hopefully you can see on your screen, you get like marching ants around. So we're going to save it as a new selection, the full costume. We're going to call it costume. And now I can simply, in one fell swoop, color Spirit Girl's costume. Boom. Now you see how that looks all wonky. Like that doesn't look right. So what we do is we change how the layers interact. Change that to multiply, and now it lets what's behind through. Pretty cool, eh? So I see a small detail here. So now with this, now I can use the brush tool and go, oops.
I like that you can still see brush strokes from the paintbrush.
Yeah, so you can see the brush strokes behind the costume. I had planned that, so I did. So we'll take a close look here without the red. So you see here, this is all not watercolor, but water ink. So I dipped an actual brush in ink and then dipped it in water. All these grays. So that's my gray tones. So I did the blacks and the grays in anticipation of being able to see the shading, right? Because the shading is important. So now I'm seeing some details I want to fix here. So I'm going to go like this. I don't like that we're really seeing too much of the reds on this background. And I'm going to go boost up those blacks. So what I did previously, there's some stuff that I do to every thing I work on. So just double check here. Yeah, okay. So I just created some automation. So if you look at the screen here, let me just check for somebody. You'll see that, oh, just going to zoom out. Here you'll be able to see. You see some blacks in this area, so you see my brush strokes, but I want it to be pure black or closer to that. So I would have to like kind of adjust this every time and go tweaking and tweaking, but I did it once and I automated it. So you see the blacks now are really punchy, a deep black, and that's what you That's what you want. Now there is one thing that I did do after scanning this. I'm seeing it now, so let's see if we can mimic that.
Are there any colorists whose work you're trying to emulate?
So are there any colorists that I am particularly interested in that I like? No. I don't, I haven't paid a lot of attention to colorists, I have to be honest. I do know some famous colorists because, you know, they worked on some famous pieces, but I've been paying attention to the line art and the black and whites more.
Why did you decide to do color in this comic?
So Shayla asked me why I decided to do color in this comic. I didn't really. Well, I mean, okay, that looks okay. Well, I initially decided I'd just do reds because just so I would get the Spirit Girl's costume in. So, and black, white, and red is such a strong color combination that I figured, well, that's fine, and it's simple enough to do like spots of red in there. But then I kind of got a little bit more involved in it, and I did a piece that's on my Substack as an experiment. Wait, I'm explaining that poorly. What happened is I read this book called Batman the Cult, and the colors in there are so wild and cool that, and they're done in such a way that I realized, hey, I could do this and that would look great. And so I did an experiment with it, and it made me think maybe I do abandon the idea of doing exclusively black, white, and red. So I am going to show you that different type of coloring soon.
So have your goals shifted a lot during this project?
Have my goals shifted a lot during this project? No, the goal remains to simply complete it. Let's do a save here. Save a lot on digital because it crashes and then you lose all your work. I have my goals shifted a lot during this project.
So for example, with the coloring, that was a shift with your goals.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say so. I've gotten better. I mean, I'm doing, so as I learn new techniques, I incorporate them. I think at some point I'll become, you know, what I would deem to be good. I'd become good at this. And I'll have to choose which techniques I incorporate, because I'll have many techniques, and then that'll be a style. But now I'm not so masterful at this that I shouldn't be incorporating everything I know, right? Because I don't know enough, right? So like for instance, when I discovered ink wash, and I started immediately thinking about what I should be, how I should be incorporating this. And I'm going to show you this new coloring technique that I'm thinking of incorporating. Obviously, I'm doing everything in such a way that I can remove these additional colors because a lot of it's going to depend on how much it's going to cost, right? So let's bring in these sheets. So if you subscribe to my Substack, comicsodyssey.substack.com, Wednesday I'm publishing a newsletter where I discuss my specific technique of coloring that I'm developing using these pre-made sheets that I made myself with spray paint. Actually, I'm going to call that something different because I might not do it pink. So I spray painted on sheets of paper 11 by 17 these different color stuff, right? And then in Photoshop I can adjust, I can turn that pretty much any color I want. And then I can just use this to place in there. I'm not brushing in color, I'm using this sort of like a texture to color in my image. So I'm thinking these crystals, to demonstrate they're not just rocks, that they're crystals that are coming out of the ground. I'm going to color them a certain color using one of these gradients. And then our super villainess here, Crystal Beth, she's going to be in another color, another sheet. And then we'll do a sheet in the background to really make this lightning pop. So lightning is probably going to be oops, what am I doing here? It's probably going to be, hey, what's going on? I just lost my thing. I figure like very, very light blue. I gotta have this here to see if there's anybody chatting, just in case. And then this lady in purple. So let's start by playing with some effects to turn this the color we want. So now this is where I'm not very well versed. So to turn this purple, what do I do? So okay, we see some changes there. So I got a better way of doing that. So I'm going to put a layer over top the sheet. So you can imagine it like as if you're playing with like transparent sheets of colored plastic. So I put a sheet over top of that sheet and then something happens, right? So, and I can play with different types of lighting basically. So this is all new technique, so I'm just playing with the different settings. Oh, look at that. That's cool. I like that. So delete this. So what I'm going to do is make a copy of this. Merge. If I merge, what happens? Okay, so I've got that. We're going to call this black and cyan. I'll just kind of save it and set it aside, and we'll keep playing with that sort of thing. So I'm actually going to take a little break here so you guys can look at this image, and because I got to use the washroom. Be right back. Very important to get up from time to time when you're drawing, so your sit muscles don't break. All right, so got an idea here. If I grab this, put it straight over top the drawing. Already some interesting things that happen there. But I think what we want let's be patient. Yeah, there's all sorts of interesting effects that, but I think we just want like this, and then later on, we'll just leave it there for now, and we're going to keep experimenting. So we did a cyan over this pink, so we're going to do a pretty much a pure yellow. Let's make it a pure yellow. Put it over top of this. And we're going to play with settings. So we've got some kind of color here. There's a hotkey I can cycle through these. Okay, so if we do a difference layer, we get different black. I see difference, so it inverts it basically. Actually, why don't we do, and it just says, okay, I see. So that's what that other one did. Okay. Sort of into this. Let's go with it. Yeah, okay. And I'm gonna go like this. And here we're gonna see the fun of it. So first, we're going to go grab all of our rock here. So we have to select all the rock minerals, and then we'll color them yellow and see how it looks. I'm thinking yellow for the crystals, and I'm thinking that Crystal Beth, her color is some kind of purple. What do you think?
Yellow's an interesting color for a villain because a lot of times people don't respond well to yellow. Like they don't have as pleasant association with it, which is strange. But so if you have like a dirty yellow, that probably works really well for a villainous.
I know that in Marvel Comics, like they've kind of got like a lot of the villains are green.
Yeah.
Maybe for me, like a lot of the villains will be yellow. I don't know. I do have a character called Yellowknife, so we don't want to throw him under the bus.
But if it's a pure yellow, it's a different feeling than a dirty yellow.
Right, for sure. I think that I'll keep kind of like the background separate, and I can I'm gonna go down here. Yeah, down in here. Oops. Hello. Oh, what happened here? Hey. Oh, dang, I lost my whole selection. That sucks. Let's start over. That's the thing with digital. Not everything's superior in digital. What do I prefer, hand tools or digital? 100% the hand tools. It's not even close. Not even close. It's way more satisfying. It looks better. It's just everything about it's more.
So for somebody who's new and who's just starting to learn how to look at comic art, how would they see, like, what are some of the differences they would see with art that is done by hand and art that is done purely digitally? Saying if people were at the same level of competence in their medium.
So, how can someone minerals?
What do you look for?
How can someone tell the difference between digital and handmade? Is that what you mean? Is that the question?
Well, you just said that it looks better.
Oh,
You said it looks better. So not everybody knows how to look. What
yeah.
are some of the things they can look for?
Okay, so what to look for in comic art that's handmade that will help you appreciate how handmade is better than digital made. It's not exclusive. I mean, it's not so much about like the medium in which it is made. It's about what the artist knows. Like there's artists trained in physical media that switch over to digital and they're very good. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay. The thing is, because they're trained in physical, the reason there's digital is because we want to do with the digital what we've been doing with the physical. So that digital is meant to basically imitate what we've done for centuries in physical and just add efficiency. So the digital is always in this kind of like tension between providing convenience and efficiency and attempting to create the illusion that it's not digital. Though some artists have, successfully kind of done work that looks digital and kind of made that their style. But again, it looks digital. It's, you know what I mean? Like it has its own distinct thing. But what physical media has that that the digital doesn't is what I call the wobble. So the wobble of your body. So I'll zoom in and I'll show you in just a second what I mean. I'll save this as minerals complete. Let's zoom in. Ink interacts with paper. See? See this line here, for instance, right here. When I use my digital brush, Let's do it in here. Come on. What's going on here? It won't work. Why is it not working? Oh, I know why. See the difference. See my digital brush? The edges are more or less the same. Here the ink and all the edges are dependent on how much pressure I put. So there's a mathematical equation that tells you, okay, well, it randomizes parts. If I put this much pressure, it does that. Here, it doesn't matter how consistent I am with my hand, the ink's just going to do things on the paper, which is not the same with a computer. So there's like an element of it that's out of your control, especially when you use ink wash. It'll just like drip places. So it kind of puts you in a position of having to kind of have more of a relationship with the media itself. Now, where is my yellow?
So does digital have more of a tendency to look too perfect?
Does the digital what?
Have a tendency to look too perfect?
Yeah, it's well, the thing is the technology's improved a great deal. So definitely, like, it'll fool me often. Like I'll go to I'll look at some stuff and I'll think that it was made by hand, and turns out it wasn't. So it'll fool me. The technology's gotten a lot better. So it's not like that I'm some sort of like traditional tools, like purist evangelist or whatever, but just in general, because the digital tools, the idea is that they're meant to imitate the physical tools, well, use the friggin' physical tools. You know, that's just, to me, that just makes sense. Now I gotta redo this here. But there's another aspect to it that people don't tend to talk about much, and that's what the tool does to you. Every tool you use has an effect. Everything you do has an effect on you and your psyche and what you do. So, especially with AI coming out, everybody's talking about, well, it's just a tool, and well, nothing's just anything. You know, it's gonna do something. So what's it gonna do, right? Part of like what the traditional tools do is that they slow you down, which is, and then they make you think about what you're doing. So not everything's about like efficiency, right?
Well, I wonder if part of it in that images have become so commercialized that that's why the focus ended up becoming on greater and greater efficiency, less contemplation, just produce.
So yeah, so your comment is, I don't know how to say that, translate that quickly to somebody who's listening. Let's play with these layers here and see what happens. It's just, yeah, not everything's about efficiency. I heard you say, so that seems like that's a good one, but it's not really showing any of the texture at all. But what if I... No. Let's keep playing.
This little lighter one I was intrigued by, but I'm always attracted to a more muted palette because I don't work in comic books, right? So that doesn't mean to pay attention to when I say,
Yeah. So my wife is saying like a fine artist is gonna have a different sensibility when it comes to color than a comic artist.
sometimes. No, I wouldn't really say that at all, but because I do landscape, so I'm more attracted to muted colors.
Right. Oh, I see what I did wrong here. I went and did this. Ah, there. Okay, that's pretty good. Kind of like that. We're going to save it, and we can always make adjustments later. My guess is I'll go around with some white or erasing. I guess erasing to do highlights on top of these. So, and so we'll do next. We're gonna do our lady here, Crystal Beth, and she'll be in purple, and we'll just see what that looks like, and we'll call it a stream. I mean, it's a slow process because I'm still kind of developing this technique of coloring. But my philosophy is put in the legwork ahead of time. Don't take shortcuts, and just with time you'll get faster. It's better to be patient up front. I learned that when I did that piece. You can read it, my Substack, on dynamic perspective. Link in description. It took like 2 hours just to set up the grid for my perspective in order to get all the buildings looking right and all that. But if I hadn't done that, I would have started and would have had to just go back and do it anyway, because everything would have looked all wonky and stuff. So it's better to just do the upfront work and just grind it out. And you can't be patient. You can't be impatient. I mean, that's what I mean about, like, people will do AI art and they'll go on AI, and well, drawing is hard, so I'm glad that AI is here, then I can get the satisfaction of being able to make my art. But it's like, you won't get the satisfaction because you didn't make it. You have to you want that satisfaction, you gotta put in the work. You can't get that sense of having accomplished something if you didn't put in the work to accomplish it. So just slow down, put in the hours, and day by day, and eventually you'll get there. we're going to call it Beth. So here we're going to put some color in there. I've made some other ones like this. I don't have just pink and stuff. I have orange, and I've made different ones. So I just haven't scanned them in yet, and I'll keep making more, and eventually I'll have my own collection. Let's do this. See through. Like this. I don't know why that looks really funny to me. Looks right? I like that. I just I want it just way more purple than that, like fuchsia or something. So in order to do that, I should probably, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think I'd be okay with it for now. And then I guess if I were to do, the next thing would be, I'll just do one quick thing here. Change my brush. The next thing I do is put screen tones on the rocks, and then put like cyan or something on the lightning bolts. But even though the stylus is easier on the hand, I don't want to overdo it still. Yeah, definitely I'll need some highlights to where the lightning's hitting on the side here, because otherwise it just looks too flat. But I think we're good for now. We're going to call it a stream. Thanks for your help, Shayla. Appreciate that. All right, have a good weekend. Bye-bye.